Trey and Maestro styles, you know we got one. Right back like we left some. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey sharp with the blade, you know we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, you know styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called The Barbershop.
Yo, what up, folks? Welcome back to a brand new episode. This is the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast, live on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. Your boy Trey Frazier's in the house. I got my brother Maestro Styles here with me today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome back, bro. It's been a couple weeks.
It's been a couple weeks?
Been a couple weeks because you was off last
I know,
week.
yeah. Oh, well, true. Got you. Yeah, man. 9 to 5,
Yeah.
type shit.
Yep.
How you?
Normal stuff. What's going on as far as the music is concerned?
Oh,
how's that going? Still going, right?
Still going. Working on the next thing. How are you, by the way? And before I ask you how are you doing, shout out to Crystals last week holding it down in my absence. Make sure I let her know. Well appreciated. I did get an opportunity to catch some of it, live, and I'm glad that you was able to be therapy for her.
Yeah. Some dope content by her last week. So yeah, definitely shout out to her, for kind of filling in for you. And it's the second time on the show, and a lot has changed with her over the course of the last couple of years since we had her on. So great to catch up with her. Quick couple shout outs to John Fisher, aka the Microwave, our homie down in Atlanta, and Mo had me on their podcast the morning of the Super Bowl. As a matter of fact, we were talking about the the matchup there. So shout out to them for having me on there, and the homie Chris Style and Maul for having me on their podcast yesterday, talking about the All-Star game. And I'm sure we'll get into some of that stuff before our guest for the week comes on. Be about a few minutes. We'll have him on shortly. But I guess because you missed last week, and so we had the Super Bowl, and I know you're like, a week and a half like away from that. So, but I'm sure you may have some thoughts about what you saw.
Well, look, man, it was an ass whooping.
Yeah.
And nobody saw an ass whooping. So, I mean, like I had Philly winning, and I had them winning for an entirely different reason than how the game played out. Yeah. But I mean, it was an ass whooping. It was not interesting. Even when you try to psych yourself up, Mahomes going, make this interesting. I mean, they just couldn't do it. I mean, they just couldn't do it. The trenches are the most important area of the football field, and that's always going to be the case. If you are good on the offensive and defensive line, you are going to be a good football team. You know what I'm saying? So that along with the fact that obviously they got great skill players, great skill players outside of the trenches. I mean, I honestly, I'm sitting here, hindsight is 2020. I'm surprised that I didn't call a double-digit score.
What was your score, by the way? I couldn't remember.
I remembered it. I remember calling it like third. I don't remember. You would have to rewind the tape. But I remember saying that the Eagles would get 30 for certain. I remember saying the Eagles would get 30 for certain. I remember.
Sound like you had maybe like 30, 24.
23, something like that. Yeah, I think I had something like that.
I kind of remember now. Yeah, I had 27-21 Eagles, but like both of us, we thought that game was just going to be, a nail biter in the fourth quarter, and this thing just got crazy. And yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. We tried to hype ourselves into thinking, Mahomes was going to do something to fuel the comeback. But I think if there was a turning point in this game where you thought it was going to flip the other way, but it kind of continued to be an ass whooping, the DeAndre Hopkins missed catch right before the half ended, because he was open. He was open. I know the catch was tough, but he's known to make those kinds of tough catches, and I think you saw Chris Jones on the sideline after that play where he just got frustrated, and I think that was the point where it's like, okay, this is it. This is about to be a route, moving forward.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say that I can recall, especially with this much time passed by, what the turning point was for me. But you know what? I'm lying. The Cooper DeJean pick six was
that was the first interception. First half.
I don't recall. I don't know if it was the first interception, but I do know it was early. I know they scored 2 touchdowns before the half.
Yep, because Mahomes was backed up in the end zone, and then he threw that interception, and then they got points right there before the half.
Yeah, so and I think once it got opened up that way, I must say that was the Cooper DeJean touchdown that opened, kind of got him up 2 scores. I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't see them doing nothing after that. Mahomes barely threw the ball deep. I mean, he didn't have time to throw deep. And I see a lot of people comparing this to the Tampa Bay thing at the Tampa Bay game, but at least in the Tampa Bay game, he was a little younger, a little more prone to play gunslinger ball. So he was running around and doing amazing shit. Like, even though it wasn't going for him the entire time. Yeah. Like, at least in that game, he was young and a little younger and prepared to do all the running necessary to throw somebody open. In this situation, you could tell he looks a step slower. He's clearly older than when he was against Tampa Bay. So I mean, for me, and that Tampa Bay defense, while a good defense, not this defense. Not this defense.
Although I do see some similarities in the defensive line. I mean, I think that's where I think you can point to people saying that this was just similar to the Tampa Bay Super Bowl, where that defensive line, the opposing defensive line, was able to beat up that Kansas City offensive line.
They're a good defensive line. If you're asking me who was the better defensive line, I'm going with the Eagles defensive line right now. I mean, I know Dominican Sue, like they had veterans, but this is a young defensive line in Philly for the most part.
And I don't remember if Tampa was able to get home without having to rush guys either. That part I don't remember.
Yeah, but this Philly D line is different, like straight out, flat out. They different. But congratulations to the Eagles. I don't think this is the end of the road for either one of these teams, the Eagles or the Chiefs. The Chiefs will clearly still be fine. I don't know if they go into the Super Bowl next year or not, but I mean, they'll be fine as far as being in the mix of things. So, it was an ass whipping. They needed an ass whipping. Like I think they thought, I don't know what they thought, but I know an ass whipping was handed to them, and then it's up to them how they bounce back.
How they respond to that.
Yeah, this was a thorough ass whipping.
And I don't think their game plan to even start the game really helped any either, because I think they ran the ball maybe one time in their first 15, 16, offensive plays.
They definitely didn't run the ball enough, but I wasn't mad at it in the first possession. It irritated me by the third possession. Yeah, because I mean, look, on that first drive, they looked like they was getting a little bit of success. Quick throws, what I'm saying, that type of thing. Like, the second possession, I don't recall as well, but by the third possession, I said, man, y'all really not gonna run the ball, huh?
And 1 first down in the whole first half.
Yeah. So I for me, I'm just like, all right, okay, well, this just
how they decided they wanted to do it.
It's just gonna be that. I mean, look, because again, we know what that defensive line is. So, I get it. If you feel like, we not going to get nothing off on this defensive line, we got a better chance trying, younger guys in Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, even that maybe that fourth cornerback, I forget his name, Isaiah Rogers. Like if you thought maybe you had more pull there, I get it. But it didn't work because they didn't have the blitz to get to the quarterback. So
yeah. Shout out to the Eagles, man.
Shout
Congrats
out to the Eagles,
them again.
For sure.
I'm sure your sister is
oddly
enough,
I just realized I hadn't even talked to her. Since the Super Bowl. You just brought it to my attention. I had not talked to her since the Super Bowl.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Interesting. How much have you paid attention to All-Star Weekend?
I watched what did I watch Saturday? Not enough to I have questions, but I definitely am prepared for. I definitely want to know how you feel about Mac McClung today. Because we had a little exchange, and I just want to know where you stand with that.
Yeah. So look, and I just want to say that competition matters, and over the last several years, there really hasn't been competition in the slam dunk contest. However, Matt McClung, and look, I just found out, I guess he's on the Orlando Magic roster. I'm not sure if he's
but he's not really on the roster. They picked him up so he could be in the slam dunk contest.
Is he really for this year? This is the same thing. Like he's still in the G League, and
in the G League. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So I was just trying to get some confirmation about that. Okay, but for me, that doesn't matter for me because I think when you look at the creativity, when you look at the hops that he has, and what he did to pay homage to Blake Griffin with the Kia car out on the court, and the way he finishes dunks too. I think that's something that and I'm just speaking in general here, that we all have to acknowledge. Like, the dude is finishing the dunks. I mean, you have like a minute and a half to finish your dunk. I mean, dude on the Bulls, I forget his name. He couldn't do anything in a minute and a half. So. Yeah. And although shout out to Stephon Castle, because I thought Stephon Castle had a couple of good dunks there.
Yeah.
I just think that it just wasn't enough to go up against Matt McClung and the creativity that he brought to the stage.
Well, I think just to rebut that point, I think why this was a 100% victory for Mac McClung is first try he dunked everything. You know what I'm saying? So for me, if Castle gets them dunks first try, I think we having a different conversation. Not necessarily saying that he would have won. I just think we having a different conversation.
Sure, it becomes more of a competitive, match.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I feel like I don't, I ain't in the head of the dude, no homo, but I feel like he knew he was winning walking into this competition. I feel like he knew he was going to win. You know what I'm saying?
Confidence.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no disrespect to the other contestants, but the other contestants didn't look prepared. They didn't look like
and they were unknown. Let's be clear about that before they took stage. We didn't know.
I don't know how much being known and unknown got to do with it. I'm just saying.
No, I'm talking about unknown as far as this is their first time in the dunk contest, and we don't know what tricks they have up their sleeve. That's what I'm talking about.
Right, but sure, that I don't. Me personally, I didn't look into that. When I watched it, I watched it thinking, all right, because I haven't known, this has been going on for years with a whole bunch of no names been, in the dunk contest. So I don't care about who you are. But when I looked at these dunks, it's like, all right, yeah, that would have been cool if it works, but it didn't work on the first try. And then you keep trying, and this is like, all right, bro, like, look, call me old, it's fine, because that's what I am. Before you got into the show, I was just checking let me watch a dunk contest, an older joint, and kind of remember, dog, if you missed the dunk in 2000, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you got two tries. It was something like all this timed and
it wasn't timed.
Yeah, all this. Like
timed.
You got one or two tries, and if you didn't do it, then you getting scored based on the attempt. You know what I'm saying? So all this 3, 4, 5 tries and time to gather yourself and like, nah, man. And I get it. Maybe they did that for sake of creativity, creativity. And no, bro. I'm sorry. Give me the good old 2 dunks, man. Like, we don't got all day for you to try to figure it out. And then by the 3rd try, I mean, to be honest, dog, if I watch you miss 2 dunks, go on, sit down, man. Like, it's not even to me, it's not even interesting no more. Like, it's not. I don't even want to see you no more. I just score you on what you tried to do.
That might be something they change, but we'll
So I mean, look, Mac McClung deserved. He made dunks. He did what he needed to do. But my question is that you alluded to something on Twitter, and I want to know. I just want to know. I just want to get to it. Do you think like dude is the best dunker ever in the competition?
Now, no, because I never said that he was the best dunker in the history of the contest. I said that he was one of the best dunkers in the history of the contest. When you think of the dunk contest, obviously you think about Michael Jordan, Dwight Howard, Vince Carter, Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine, Spud Webb, just throwing some names out there, Blake Griffin, thinking about some memorable dunks. I'm thinking about guys who've had some memorable dunks. I think when you look I think 10 years, 15 years from now, when you look back at the history of the contest and there's a conversation about the greatest dunkers, like forget the fact that, forget about where guys played at, forget about if they're superstars in the league or if they're role players or if they're G League players, like forget all of that minutia, like just in the history of the dunk contest. I think Matt McClung is going to be one of those names that gets thrown out there with the likes of Dominique, MJ, Vince Carter. The list goes on and on.
Is he a top 10?
Yes, absolutely top 10. Absolutely top 10.
Absolutely top 10. So
now I wasn't ready to start ranking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well,
but if you're telling me top 10, I'll gladly put him in the top 10.
So
top 5.
We know that.
I'll reserve.
Okay, so
that.
let's because let me be clear on where I stand.
Yeah.
Because even if one of is your conversation, if he ain't a top 10, I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't really prepared to say one of the best in the competition. And the only reason historically,
and I was going to ask you what is keeping you from putting him in that top.
Okay, I've seen Vince Carter, the GOAT. I've seen Michael Jordan. I've seen Jason Richardson. I've seen Tracy McGrady. I've seen Blake Griffin, Aaron Gordon. Did I say Dominique?
You didn't say Dominique.
Dominique. I've seen. Did I say Nate Robinson?
Nate Robinson. That's 8.
I've seen Steve Francis. I've seen Tracy McGrady.
Okay.
He can't be in my and I'm sure I'm leaving people out.
Okay.
He ain't in my top, and with respect, and let me be clear, with respect, because regardless of competition, three-peating anything ain't easy to do.
Yeah.
So let me be clear, and I don't even think I said Blake Griffin in that list. So you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
With respect, three-peat, hell of a dunker, all those things, but and maybe it just ain't the time. I don't know. Maybe,
and that's okay. That's okay. Like, if you're not ready to put him there, I respect that. I can respect that. I'm just saying, when you would do that, again, the hops, and I get it. Guys didn't have props, 30-something years ago. I get it. The contest has changed. Creativity has changed over the years. I mean, just like sports, eras, right? Everything, there's always changes. There's always different eras. But I'll go back to it, man. The dude finishes dunks.
Yeah,
the dude's got hops,
that's for certain.
And
he finishes. He finishes well. Like, even when he failed, it looked good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
right. But to me, it's almost as if he didn't fall that way, it wouldn't have been as like
exciting,
hype to me, right? It's exciting to me.
Like
the fact that he fell that way, I was like, ooh, yeah, like I like that with
Like,
authority.
do you think he's better than Kobe in the dunk contest?
See, I'd have to go back and look at Kobe's tape in the contest. I don't quite remember his dunks in that contest like that.
Okay, I was just asking.
But yeah, I think again, like I said, you go 30, not 30, you go 10, 15 years from now, and you look back at these moments, and every time these conversations come up about the greatest dunkers, I think his name is gonna come up in these conversations. Yeah. He is not the best. He is not the best dunker.
Let me put that to bed. I misunderstood. Right. Yeah, I might have misread the tweet. That's fine. That's what I thought you said you're sitting here trying to consider if he's the best dunker ever. No. That's what I thought you said in the tweet.
Okay, no, one of.
All right, okay, because that's what I was like. Ooh, let me get ready for the podcast on Tuesday. See if stand by that on Tuesday.
Oh yeah, Nah, I had a couple guys kind of disagree also. I had a couple of guys kind of feel the way you feel.
Yeah, well, because the point that I wanted to add to your point when you speak about history, the problem is that the real reason he's going to be in those conversations is because he three-peated. But often when you get put in them conversations, nobody's 15, 20 years from now is going to say, well, he didn't play nobody unless you were there to see him not play, go against anybody. Right. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, I'm sorry, bro, I can't give you that. Now, I tell you this, if Ja really get in there, if, Ja, I know I saw Zach Levine, hell, like if they really go in there and go compete, and then he beats all of them, all right, then let's have a real conversation. But I just got finished watching the 2000, the Vince Carter joint.
Yep.
And that competition was Tracy McGrady, Wink, Steve Francis, Larry Hughes, Jerry Stackhouse. You know what I'm saying? These was cats that was scoring, they was playing in the game, or some of them players was actually playing in the game and then competing in the dunk competition. So it's it just hits different. It just hits different. And when you
and I don't quite remember back in 2000, but would you say because Vince Carter's dunks was so spectacular that was it close? Was it close, or was it a real competition?
It was the only person the only person that was kind of holding on was Steve Francis, and Steve Francis was holding on because he jumped high and everything. Like he did lobs. I didn't remember. He basically did lobs the entire competition, but he got up. He actually made it look like he made it look like a good dunk. You know what I'm saying? And then everybody know Wink ain't no big dude. So like it looked different in the air when he floating normal. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But as far as innovation goes, I mean, and McGrady was there because McGrady was still doing counterclockwise reverse 360s. Gotcha. McGrady came in, did the between the leg, it was right. It was competition, but
it was some competition. It's just that Vince Carter just took it to a whole.
And by the way, they were finishing dunks.
Yeah.
I think by the time you got on, I was in the third round, and Steve Francis had just missed his first dunk. You know what I'm saying? Jerry Stackhouse was making his dunks. I think Larry Hughes did miss a dunk, but you know what I'm saying? But people was making dunks. Right. So it's just like, it's hard to judge when I got to watch you figure it out in front of me.
Right. Yeah, look, man, And did those guys win? Like, did McGrady ever win a contest?
I don't know. Don't give me that.
Okay.
Don't give me that.
Okay. I'm just I don't remember if those guys like the Steve Francis and
I know
Larry Hughes didn't win one.
Right. But my point is that they was actually completing dunks. So like if prime Steve Francis is giving prime Mac McClung smoke because he's completing dunks, not just because, you know what I'm saying? So it's like nobody got their dunk on the first try. It don't feel like Sunday or Saturday. It don't feel like nobody got their dunk on the first try except for Mac McClung. It don't feel that way. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, it's kind of easy to score that way. It doesn't put pressure on Mac McClung because hell, he could have dumbed it down and just dunked it and, you know, put the sauce on the dunk, and he probably would have still won because nobody was finishing dunks.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
And
that's competition, and I agree with you. When the opponent is finishing dunks, there is competition for sure.
And don't get me wrong, I don't remember the last two, and I mean, let me be even more honest. I didn't watch the last two. So, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the competition was like on the first two for Mac McClung, but I'll be honest with you. I am confident that it was the same way as this past Saturday. I'm confident in that.
I would say close to it. But I would also say that, you know, as I said before, when you can be creative, finish dunks, get hops, and it's not even a question. He's one of the best dunkers in the history of the contest. Now, I will not put him number one, and we'll answer that question. Like, no, he's not the best. He's not the greatest dunker of all time. And for the people that want to use his status in the league as sort of an excuse to try to keep him out of that conversation, I'm not totally with that.
Yeah, neither am I.
They called him up. You know what I'm saying? They called him up. He was asked to do a job. He's perfected his right. And not only did he do it the first time, he kept continuing to perfect his craft year by year. So you got to respect the dude that's going to put the practice and put the preparation into, his craft. So I'm not going to use that against him, that he's a G leaguer.
I mean, look, I don't care about that. I wish he could. I do look, do I wish he was on a roster? Sure. Do I also think that they bought him up because this dunk contest would have been even worse if he didn't compete? Yes. I believe all those things. I believe all of those things. But the fact of the matter is that people who play on NBA teams couldn't beat a G leaguer. So I don't put that on the G leaguer. I put that on the NBA players.
What'd you think about this new format? This 4-team All-Star
playoff thing. I didn't watch any of them until the last one. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you. I mean, look, I guess a tournament, like, I don't know, playing the 25 or 40, I think it was 40 or 25, whatever it was.
Up to 40, yeah.
I mean, that didn't do nothing for me. It didn't do nothing for me, to be honest with you. I'll tell you this, Steph Curry is him, and I get that they lined him up to give him the opportunity to be him. They lined it up that way.
Any team he was on, he was going to win.
They was going. Like you said, like I said, they was going to line it up. I mean, they was at least going to put him in position to do what he does. And if he doesn't do it, then whatever, they'll lose. But if he does what he does, what we know him to do, then they'll be fine, and it'll be that. So I mean, but he's him. It just is what it is. Sure. Him and Kyrie are them.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely didn't need a reminder for this All-Star game to know who Steph is, for sure. Right. But just quickly, my thoughts before our guest comes on. I'm not mad at the 4-team format. I'm not sure about the Rising Stars team, right? Like, I think when you look at the 4 teams, automatically for me, I thought, okay, the one team that I know for sure is not getting out of this round is the Rising, Stars team, which is all the rookies pretty much, right? Then you had Shaq's team, which was all the international guys, which was cool.
I thought he was the OGs.
No, Shaq was the OGs.
But I thought you just said Shaq.
No, I thought it said Charles.
Okay.
My fault. But yeah, Shaq had the OGs team. Chuck had the international team, and Kenny had the guys that were like approaching their prime, kind of a thing. Like
I thought I saw somewhere that said like snubs or something like that.
So no, and I agree with Dame Lillard on this. So this was after the the whole thing, and he said that, hey, if they could do this next year, instead of having the Rising Stars team, which is all the rookies, have an all snubs team, which would have been the likes of Devin Booker, Norman Powell, because Norman Powell's having a pretty good, solid season. He would have been, an all-star if not for some of the other guys. And I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? That's actually not a bad idea because, you're getting you're right. It's competition, and then you're getting the next group of guys after those all-stars. You're getting those next guys, even though you would still consider them all-stars. They're the guys that didn't make the cut. So I kind of like that idea because at least 4 teams, every team has a shot. I didn't feel like the Rising Star team had a shot.
Give me a who's who on the Rising Stars team in your who was there?
What's the cat from Houston? Amen Thompson. Was on there. The kid from the Spurs, Castle was on there, and I forget the other dude. Zach Edey from the Grizzlies.
Okay. So yeah. Okay, yeah, I agree then. Yeah, like no offense to those players.
No offense, but it's all-star. It's all-star weekend. Those guys, while they're they're rising young stars,
but I get why they did it because that's the future. So it's like that you kind of need to get an introduction. I mean, can you?
Well, they have the Rising Stars game every Friday night of
so they still weekend. They're still doing that.
They still do that, right?
Okay.
So just let that be for them.
Right.
And then let the All-Stars be in the All-Star.
So that Rising Star games is a regular 4-quarter game, or is that they doing that the same?
Yeah, that's a regular 4-quarter game.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Well, all right. Yeah, I know no shit now. If that's what that is. If that's what that is, for sure, yeah. Because I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't really care. Look, man, you already know the stigma on the All-Star game. Like we ain't been on that All-Star game energy for a long time. So it's like I did happen to like cut it on. Like I cut it on before but I'm old, fell asleep, wasn't that interested.
Was watching you.
Yeah, right. And I think I gave more of an entertainment to them than did it to the TV than the TV gave to me. So you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But so that's what's up. But the last thing I got before you bring the guest on is how did you feel about what's the Kevin Hart shade for you, man? And again, I'll admit I didn't watch a bunch of this shit.
I'm so, and I'm not gonna let the whole All-Star thing really judge my view of Kevin Hart here, because I think the overall production of the All-Star weekend I thought was a bit drawn out because of the musical appearances, which I thought was dope, by the way. To me, I thought that was the best part of Sunday night was the musical performances. The TNT tribute, which I thought was a little weird. Like they could have saved that, I think.
I thought that was a little weird too.
Later in the year, postseason, like actually the last game that they're going to televise on TNT, that would have been appropriate.
I ain't mad at them giving them the flowers. I just the way they did it.
The moment. It was in the middle of a timeout. It wasn't even between the matches. It was in the middle of a timeout. So,
I saw.
But the Kevin Hart stuff where he's I don't know, and I don't want to drag this out. He's the same to me. Like he's not as funny to me as we knew he used to be, bro.
But he's okay.
He getting his money. He in movies. He's doing his thing and all that. He's been
this nigga for like. But we ain't just know this about Kevin Hart though.
No, I understand. I'm just saying for this particular event, it's like, dude, like, I know you're trying to be funny and everything. I know they brought you here to do this, but hey, get to your point. Let's, because some of the players was like, yo, get this nigga off the court so we can continue this game because dude's just trying to hurry up and get up out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sick of Kevin Hart to be totally honest with you, bro. I'm over it at this point. Maybe I'll give you a little bit more elaboration on it another time, but that really was just long drawn out. He was part of the reason why it was long and kind of drawn out. But at the end of the day, the NBA, they realized they have an issue with the All-Star weekend. They realized they had to give you other forms of entertainment to keep you tuned in other than the game itself. Again, kudos to all the musicians that came out, the Bay Area artists. That was dope. Actually learned that Maxine has reunited with En Vogue, which is dope in itself. But yeah, it's got a lot of work to do, all in all, and we knew that.
Was you singing "Never Gonna Get It," man?
Was I singing? But that they didn't play that.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't watch it, so I don't know.
They didn't play that song.
I didn't want to know if you were singing En Vogue.
Nah, I wasn't singing En Vogue. I was just happy to see. I was just happy to see them.
And what the hell was they singing if they wasn't singing "Never Gonna Get It"?
Free Your Mind.
Oh, so they only did that one song and got out of there?
They only did that one song. Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep. All right, let's do this. Let's bring in the homie here. We got our buddy Nithin Ramachandra, owner of the NR Media Group. You can find him on Twitter at the NR Hour _. Check out all his stuff on Instagram and on Twitter and all that good stuff. Nathan, man, thank you so much, man. And hey, wherever you're going, man, just drive safe, bro.
Yeah, sorry. We just finished covering a basketball game, and first of all, thank you guys for having me, and thank you for the invite. You guys are the best. We've been following you for a while, and you guys do a great job on your Barbershop Sports Talk show, and you guys put out great content. So I just want to say that first of all, and like I said, thank you for the invite. And yeah, so we just finished covering a basketball game, so I'm just heading back home. So.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what's up. Well, talk to us a little bit about your experience at Radio Row. I know you shared some of that stuff with me earlier in the week, as far as being at the Super Bowl covering athletes and things like that. So I have to imagine that it's really all about meeting athletes and interviewing them. But for you personally, what does it mean to you to be able to be on Radio Row and be able to cover these athletes?
First of all, shout out to Ben Sutter from BS3 Radio, BS3 Network. He's the one who hooked me up. Yeah, he's the one who hooked me up with the passes, the last minute media access for Radio Row. So shout out to him. I wouldn't be there without him. So so it was a great experience, man. Unbelievable experience. You had everyone there, you name it. Joey Chestnut was there. Actor Adam Devine was there. So you had other people from different personalities be there, experience Radio Row. And it wasn't about the interviews for me. It was about obviously the interviews were amazing, but for me, it was about networking and meeting new people there. And most of the players I had on my show a few years ago, they were all there at the Radio Row. So I got to chop it up with them again in person. And I got to meet new people, connect with new people, networking, and it was unbelievable. And like I said, a lot of big-time athletes. I met Max Crosby, Aaron Jones, you name it, and a lot of great people there. So it was an unbelievable experience. And even though we didn't get to cover the game, radio was awesome. And I'm already planning for San Francisco next year. So, but the New Orleans Bourbon Street, being on Bourbon Street, and also getting to interact with the fans was amazing. But man, we saw a lot of content to post and more to come. And I got invited to Lee Steinberg's Super Bowl party, so that was another great experience. And Ray Lewis was there, Brett Favre, a bunch of people. So shout out to Lee Steinberg. He was on my show last year, and we're building that connection. So overall, great experience, and I learned a lot from there. And shout out to Ben again.
For sure. So tell me about the start of your media company. What got you started? What got you into sports? What's your story?
Yeah, so a funny story. First, I went to school for criminal justice. So I was I was in the Correctional Officer Academy which didn't work out. So I went back to school to finish off my to go for sports journalism and digital mass media. So I went back to school to get that degrees in there. And then once COVID hit, all my friends and families are big sports fans also. Mm-hmm. And when all the sports shut down, I told myself, one of my friends said, you're good behind the camera, in front of the camera, and you're good at talking to people and networking. So I said, okay, let me start a show, a brand underneath my name, which is NR, Nithin Ramachandra. So I built it around my name. So I started building a podcast on Instagram Live. I started doing interviews on Instagram Live when COVID hit. So starting to bring players in, media people to join the show. And I thought it was only going to be a hobby at first, like just a side gig. But this thing kept growing, and I will never forget on my 25th birthday, I had Isaiah Thomas on the show, the bad boy Piston guy, and that was a great experience. But once Instagram Live was starting to get the attention, so I started to year 2 is when I started to transfer everything on Zoom, and I applied for iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all the podcast platforms. So I'm all on the podcast platforms, and it started to grow. A lot of fans so a lot of fans we have, and obviously my friends enjoyed it. So year 3, I got featured on News 12 in New Jersey, my local network here in New Jersey, and they brought me into studio talking about my journey, like what you guys are doing now, talking about my journey as a sports journalist, sports media guy, and also not only do I do that, I also do events with athletes. I do a lot of events with athletes and do a lot of signings with them. So that's what happened. News 12 helped out big time, and then year 4 we started to branch out even more, going to big time events. Like last year we were at Fanatics Fest. We did. I connected with Michael Rubin, the CEO of Fanatics, and he was a great guy. I connected with Gary V there, and a lot of people there. So we're starting to adapt to bigger events, and then now the Super Bowl radio. So now this year we're trying to do the same thing and start continuing to grow and build more connections. So it's been a great ride for me. And I'm thankful for everybody supporting, and my friends, my family. I wouldn't be here today without my parents. So shout out to my parents and to everyone in the world, because you guys know this industry is tough to get into, and there's a lot of work. So I kudos to you guys too. You guys started your own thing, and I'm loving it how people start their own thing in this industry. So
for sure, appreciate you for sure. Hey man, I was gonna say let's get straight to the sports, man. I'm reading here that you are a Cowboys fan, and I'm gonna just get straight to the shit. What the fuck y'all doing over there?
Well, so speaking of a Cowboy, my father brought me up as a Cowboy fan, so that's how I became a Cowboy fan. But I don't understand. I don't see. Jerry Jones, as long as Jerry Jones is there, we're gonna mess up. And am I allowed to curse on this show?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So they're fuck ups. So I think the front Stephen Jones is even worse because he follows his father wherever he goes. But I don't know. If they were going to hire someone in person, they should have just kept Mike McCarthy. McCarthy has the highest winning percentage as a fucking head coach. I mean, come on now. Like,
that's what I said.
They should have kept him. I mean, if you're going to go in-house, you should have kept him. And but the one positive I like about the coaching staff, though, they brought back Matt Eberflus. He's a heck of a coach. I love Matt Eberflus. I'm happy that he's back with the team. And they messed up big time by letting Dan Quinn go. They should have made him the head coach or something. Yeah. But I mean, our front office is in shambles. And like I said, as long as Jerry Jones is there, we're not going to win anything, in my opinion. And I hate to say this. I mean, Jerry Jones is never going to sell the team, that's for sure. But I hate to say this, when he dies, and we're not going to win anything, in my opinion.
Yeah. Until the casket drop, that's when
you're
going to start seeing success
let's
again.
Let's be clear. We ain't wishing death on Jerry Jones. We just stating how we feel. As long as he's in the ball, ain't shit gonna happen.
Ain't nothing gonna change, man. Nothing gonna change. Let's transition to basketball. I see you're a Knicks fan as myself. Give us your grade on how the Knicks are doing so far up to the All-Star break, and what do you expect to see moving forward? And to you, what is the ceiling for this Knicks team as they enter into the playoffs?
Man, I give a B+ grade, and to be sitting at 36-18, third in the East, and with a lack of depth right now, and with all the injury. I mean, we have some key players out like Mitchell Robinson, and our defense is not there yet, but our offense we're like one of the top 3 teams in scoring. So I'm happy about that, and I think we're sitting in a good position as a team. We just have to get the players back and well rested. So sitting at 36-18, I feel great with the team. Like I said, B+, and much needed All-Star break, and then to see Jalen Brunson finally getting a start in the All-Star game, and then Karl Anthony Towns. What a big pickup, man. Shout out to Leon Rose in the front office for bringing Karl Anthony Towns. That was a big pickup. I love him. Man, this Knicks team, watch out. When we get the players back that we need, they can be a force in the Eastern Conference. And I'm telling you right now, I think they can compete for a title this year, but they just have to continue to play their own game. And then this second half stretch is going to be big for them. So I'm hoping Mitchell Robinson can come back sooner than later. And once we get that piece back, man, that our defense is much better with Mitchell Robinson there. But I'm happy where the Knicks are at.
They'll get him back. I think they're talking about maybe sometime this weekend that they would get him back. And that would be huge, because you could put him at the 5 and then it would slide Cat to the 4. And it was kind of like how he was playing against alongside in Minnesota, how that defense all of a sudden decided to turn up. So I'm with you. I think they're in a good position. I think when they get these players back, they will be moving forward, being able to, compete for a chance at a title. They'll be able to be more competitive with the Bostons and the Clevelands of the world, because regular season games so far against these teams, they haven't been, the greatest there. So, and hopefully we get Nithin. Looks like he just froze there for a minute there.
Yeah. I see. But this would be my chance to ask: do you think Cleveland for real, like championship for real this year?
No. I think they're one of those teams that they're kind of like Oklahoma City.
Yeah, they're having a good regular season.
Having a good regular season. They'll most likely win in the first round.
Can you hear me?
Next thing you know, we can hear you. We can hear you. But to answer Maestro's question here, I think Cleveland is one of those teams like Oklahoma City was last year, where they're a great regular season team, but then when you get to the playoffs,
I don't think they mess with Boston or for that matter New York right now.
Yeah. Right now, I would put Boston and the Knicks as the top 2. It's just Cleveland is having a better year record wise. I mean, shout out to Kenny Atkinson, because he's been, I feel like, the difference maker with the Cavs so far this year.
For sure. Yeah.
So you got anything, Maestro?
No, man. Look, hey, I want to say, hey, man, we appreciate you. We see you out here grinding, man. We appreciate you giving us a couple of minutes, man.
Hey, thank you for having me, man.
You want to plug anything before we let you go?
Yeah, we got to vice versa. We got to get you guys on my show next, eventually, and stay tuned, guys. We got more content coming from Super Bowl week, and we got some events coming up with the players. And wait, where do you guys live, by the way?
We're in the DMV area, so that's DC. Trey's more out Baltimore, but he ain't a long ride for me. So the DMV area.
Yeah, we should do something. I do a lot of events with players, so we should do something in person, all of us together. And but stay tuned. We got more content coming and a lot of events. So, but first, I just want to say thank you for having me. You guys are the best, and like I said, you guys have to come on my show, and then we'll do something like a segment and something. So.
Yes, sir. We're gonna make that. We're gonna put that player in a position, man. We appreciate you, man, and we'll see you in the internet streets, brother.
Yeah, thank you so much. Keep up the great work, both of you guys.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
Salute.
you, bro.
Salute.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Yeah, it's the homie right there, Nithin. Check him out on Instagram and on Twitter at the NR Hour _. Hey, I don't think we talked about this Jimmy Butler move to Golden State. I think we kind of missed that.
Yeah, I mean, well, I wasn't here last week, so you get a little bit. How you feel about it, man? I mean, look, let's be clear.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't move the needle. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like if at some point you thought Golden State was going to turn, I think they're what, like 8-9 seed somewhere right now. They might be lower. Yeah, but they might be lower than that. Yeah. This doesn't. I mean, maybe this gets them into. Maybe they sneak into the playoffs.
7.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But this doesn't move the needle for me. This doesn't turn. I don't. I mean, from what I've seen or heard, I mean, I don't think anybody believes that. But if it got to be said, it got to be said. Like this doesn't move the needle for anybody in the scope of the NBA. Golden State is just giving my man Steph Curry his swan song, so he ready to retire. I don't think they and then he gonna go off into the sunset where they're gonna go to being super trash. I saw a quote the other day that they getting Draymond Green ready to be a head coach. He said they're getting him ready to be a head coach. I don't know if that was in jest or not, because I know he's doing the whole broadcasting thing. Like what he's about to do.
Yeah.
But I did see the headline saying where they were saying some shit like that. But look, man. I mean, shout out to him. I mean, I don't know what the money look like.
I don't know what the money looks like. So remember, this was a trade. The whole saga with him in Miami.
But he wanted money though. So my assumption was is that either
they gave him an extension of some sort,
or that they're at least talking about how they're going to extend the contract.
I'm imagining that those are conversations.
Yeah, but I guess they
I don't think they gave it to him yet. Right, they don't have to do it. They don't have
to do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Just let the season play out, and we'll take care of it in the offseason. They are in 10th place, and they're only 3.5 games from the number 6 spot. I mean, we know how to West. We know how to West. We the same thing every year in the West Coast. So that's yeah. But they're 3-1 with him since they acquired him. So I mean, their defense is a little bit better. Their offense is about 6 points per game better than when they didn't have him. So he's making some sort of a difference, within the first, several games. We'll see how everything goes, kind of moving forward here. But if you're the Warriors, you kind of had to get somebody, right? Like you're in 10th place. I don't think you're selling. You're not selling at the trade deadline if you're Golden State. So
I mean, had to. I don't know if had. I mean, look. I mean, it depends on what you feel like your trajectory is as a team. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I get it. I'm sure everybody, the whole cliche, everybody thinks they're going to the finals when they go into the season. You know what I'm saying?
Dub Nation.
Yeah. Of course they do. Of course, everybody thinks they're going to the finals at the end of the year. I get it. Yeah. Like,
Draymond said it on the broadcast. He's like, "Yo, we going to the finals."
I mean, if there is a mid team that's allowed to have that belief, it's certainly the Warriors. But you're not about to tell me as a fan of a team that's trash, they don't. I'm sorry. You're supposed to say those things.
Yeah, of course.
When the doors closed, the Washington Wizards ain't talking about you wasn't in August talking about we need to do this so we can get to the finals this year. You know what I'm saying? Like
right. So
come on, bro.
So for you, the ceiling for the Warriors this year. What's the ceiling?
First round exit is their absolute ceiling, and I don't think they're going to meet that.
Okay. So because I could see Denver beating them. I could see Oklahoma City running them off the floor.
The only team that I could see them possibly beating.
They could beat Memphis. I think they could beat Memphis.
Right.
I think they could beat the Rockets if
that's who I was going to say, the Rockets.
A draw there.
I agree with the Grizzlies too.
Yeah, I think those are the two. I think those are the two that they could definitely beat to get to a second round, and that would definitely be the ceiling.
Yeah, and I give them a better chance. So yeah, you're right. I'll change my But I don't think they're beating the Rockets. I just think they could beat the Rockets. I think them young boys run them old boys out of it.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay. Well, Ime has got a lot of influence on that team. He's made a lot of difference since getting there. So,
but and I take it back. They're still in his first round exit. I don't think they beat him with Ja. Ja's healthy. I don't think they beat him with Ja.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that team, they played just as great without him.
Yeah,
at times too. So
yeah.
And Ja's not even like back to being himself.
Yeah, we'll have that conversation, I guess, for another day. I don't know if he's gonna get that bounce back. Like I don't know if he's gonna get that bounce back.
You think he's lost it? You think he's lost it?
Yes. Let me just yes. Wow. I do. I think like point guards before him of that ilk, you get a couple of injuries and jumping like that don't seem as fun. Even if he's physically capable of jumping the way he did before all the bullshit happened. Look, man, it ain't fun getting knocked over. It ain't fun jump. That shit is not fun. What I'm saying? So, like I said about him, years ago, it's like we need that jumper to start becoming more consistent. Like he can be. Look, and to be honest, I don't even know if I'm saying that because Russell Wilson has had his career, the type of career he's had, being Russell Wilson, and he's not the greatest jump shooter.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So I don't even know that he needs to be. If he's the energy on the team, he could play some decent defense. He could, dish the ball out if necessary, run the offense. Like he can be a point guard, a Russell Westbrook type of point guard for, the next 10, 10, 12 years and have a nice, strong, 17, 18-year career. So, I mean, to be honest with you, I think it's fine. But I think to be that guy at point guard, he definitely gonna have to get a consistent jumper because he ain't jumping out of gyms no more. I think that's done.
Interesting. So he could be another. He could just be another player because Jaren Jackson Jr. has kind of been like their guy. This year so
wing guy. I mean, it makes sense.
Yep. But we'll see what happens. Maybe there's a hope that maybe he could elevate his game come postseason time. I don't see them making a run in the finals. I'm not trying to say that.
No.
But I'm just more so talking about Ja Morant as a player. Like I want to see him get back to what he was before all the trouble, started. So
them days are done. I don't think getting sat down and like, hey, bro, it's not fun. It's not fun jumping in the air, dunking on people and falling.
Right.
He ain't the biggest person. You know what I'm saying? That shit is just not fun to do. It's just not fun to do. The best thing I did over the weekend was set my alerts to whenever you tweet, it lets me know.
Whenever I tweet?
Whenever you tweet, it sends me a notification that you tweeted. That's the best thing I ever done. The best thing I've ever did. Because Justin Tucker super freak ass got some more allegations recently. and I got to see, I get to see when you repost and So you done with him?
I'm not done with him. It's just I'm waiting for the team to address it. Like, and I don't know if they think more is going to come out because I do think that there's a possibility that this is not the end of the line here. So it's 5 or 6 more came out over the weekend.
Something like
and
that.
Now the total is up to 16, I think it is now. And the team they've been silent, and silence speaks a lot of things. So
but silence can speak a lot of things, not just one. What do you think this says?
What do I think the silence says?
Yeah.
The silence says to me that they don't feel like they're getting enough smoke. And they're right. And I'm just they're right in the sense that
this ain't Deshaun Watson. I agree.
This hasn't been blown over, even though some will argue, hey, Deshaun got all the smoke. Why can't the white boy get the same?
Oh,
kind of smoke?
That's where I was going because that's a valid fucking point.
For sure.
And I get it. If anybody in a chat room, a comment, or anything is getting ready to tell me quarterback to kicker, let's be clear. I'm sorry that this is the best kicker in NFL history. Statistically, the Hall of Famer, all the things. And I'm not saying, and if you still say quarterback to kicker, I would just leave you alone. But in my mind, there's Lamar Jackson. And then there's Justin Tucker. I'm sorry, Derrick Henry. I forgot Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, then Justin Tucker. That's the hierarchy of the Baltimore Ravens right now. So as far as I'm concerned, the third best player on your team, star-wise, not necessarily skill-wise, star-wise, is a nasty ass freak. And I'm sorry, that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, they got to come out and say something.
I feel like that needs to be addressed. And I don't mean just addressed from a team perspective. I feel like this should be ESPN should be kicking this white dude back in, just like they kicked Deshaun Watson back.
Yep, they should be.
He need to be getting his back fucking kicked in.
This should be on a national.
Yeah, he should get his back kicked in, just like Deshaun Watson got his back kicked in.
Locally, they're talking about it, but that means nothing if nationally it's not getting the same attention as it is locally.
Well, I don't know because I don't listen to Baltimore radio, and I wouldn't even know who the who would be the appropriate platform to speak about it locally in Baltimore. But this freak nigga back need to get kicked in. It's just no way to say it. No other way to say it.
Yeah.
He is being accused of some nasty things, of some nasty things by women. And, all I can do is think about, damn, Deshaun Watson was getting his back fucking kicked in behind it. And the fact that this dude ain't doesn't sit well with me. It's like one thing. If you let it go under the rug for the first time it was reported, and I guess that was like 6 at the time, the first time it was reported, something like that. I don't agree with it, but it ain't Deshaun Watson, Bill Cosby numbers. You might let that sweep under the rug. We officially had Deshaun Watson, Bill Cosby numbers, dog. So it doesn't fall short on me if that's the correct way to term it. That when they got the Bill Cosby, Deshaun Watson numbers, Deshaun Watson and Bill Cosby, black people got put in the mud.
And honestly, I didn't even think of it that way. I just thought of it as, hey, you getting accused for this. The noise should be louder than what it is. I don't care what the number is. The noise should be loud, and it's not loud enough. And I think the Ravens are reacting by not reacting to the fact that the noise isn't loud enough. We'll see what happens because the combine's coming up. A lot of things go on at the combine. There's a lot of conversations, a lot of media. They get to ask questions to the coaches and the GMs and things about players, about who they think they out to seek in terms of offseason moves, trades, and things like that.
Yeah,
I just want somebody, whoever, whether it's Karita Parks, because I'm sure she's gonna attend the combine and cover the Ravens, whether it's Cordell or Rita or somebody. I just need somebody in that media room to put pressure on this organization. What the hell is going on with Justin Tucker? What the hell are y'all gonna do with this guy?
Yeah,
we just want to know.
I just want to see some scrutiny. I'm not asking you to cut Justin Tucker. I'm not asking you to. I just want to see the scrutiny.
Yeah,
this motherfucker need to get dragged a little bit, man. Like this nigga need to get dragged a little bit.
Have a protest out front of the stadium or something with some signs or something.
Burn some Justin Tucker jerseys, man. Do something. Do something.
Go to the castle and just start protesting and do something. The noise is it's too quiet.
I would love to see some Justin Tucker jerseys burned by some women. Do something. I don't know. Do something.
It's too quiet, man. Look, I don't care. Look, they talk about June 1st cuts, I guess, because I guess there's some financial literature where if you cut a guy around June 1st or after June 1st, that I guess the cut isn't as horrible in terms of the financials.
Mm-hmm.
But damn the financials, and I know I'm in another person's pocketbook, but damn all that. Like you got a dude on your team that's got some issues that he got to handle on a personal level. That's gonna affect your team in the offseason, whether you like it or not, because dudes are gonna ask about it. People are gonna, national media, they gonna ask about it at the combine. I just know it. And
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. This feels like his kicking struggles this year got something to do with this freak shit.
I told you, his wife. This is the story.
Okay.
His wife found out about what's been going on with the masseuses and all that, and he's going through a divorce. That's the word on the streets around here.
Right.
That he's going through a divorce, and I put that as the reason for him missing all these kicks in the regular season and, missing extra points and stuff like that. But there was something deeper than the divorce. It's the fact that you got all these allegations against you.
Yeah,
and this started, and let's remember, this all started years ago. This wasn't just something that just popped up. There were tweets about this just 4 years ago, but then people just kind of was like, okay, whatever.
Twitter talk. We don't, sometimes Twitter talk ain't real. So I get it.
Right. Sometimes it's not real. And depending on who it's from, sometimes you get one thing and that algorithm just kind of takes it, to a whole nother level, and then you got other people tweeting about it, and then the speculation starts happening. So sure, you don't go off of that, but now there was something to those tweets for something years ago. So but
freaky ass
sorry,
nigga,
bro.
Freaky ass nigga, bro.
I just want them to come out and just say something. I want the media locally and nationally to put pressure on the organization to say, hey, yo, what's going on with Justin Tucker? Like you said, we're not asking him to get cut, but
we asking for him to be dragged. Here at the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast, we're asking for Justin Tucker to get dragged a little bit for being a freaky ass nigga. Allegedly. Look, I will say this.
It's allegations, but guys have been dragged over allegations.
Exactly. Thank you. You said it better than I was about to. Because, bro. Like, what are we doing right now? What are we doing? Look, you don't want to call the girls liars. You want to respect that, and I'm with all that. Every side of the coin until something's proven, guilty or innocent.
Right.
I'm with it. But at the same time, if Deshaun Watson got dragged, then damn it, this nigga need to get dragged in the media, in the public. And I haven't seen not foolish me. I don't watch a bunch of ESPN. I don't watch a bunch of sports on sports shows on TV. So I don't know if they covered it, but I know I'm on Instagram.
But I was gonna say, and thank you for alluding to that. You're on Instagram and you're also on Twitter, and the algorithms are crazy.
I don't be seeing that shit. I don't be seeing none of that.
Right.
I follow First Take on fucking Instagram. I don't see I don't see the clip where they're talking about freaky ass Justin Tucker. I don't see it.
Yeah,
I don't see it. So nah, bro. I don't fuck with it. I don't appreciate it. If you being alleged if you being accused of being a nasty nigga and you white, you should get dragged the same way a black person does.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
You got any other NFL stuff?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. Yeah, I don't got anything NFL wise.
Oh, I got. It's not NFL, so I see where you're going first.
Yep. So and this is just kind of my last thing here for the night. So going back a couple weeks ago, I told you I watched the Clarissa Shields, Danielle Perkins fight, right?
Yeah.
So one day last week, so me and Deb, we were talking. We was down here in the basement talking about something, and she asked me a question. She was like, is the person that fought Clarissa Shields went to our school? And I was like, I don't think so. So then she went on to say, she was like, hey, because there were some mutual friends of ours that was, rooting for her, that went to our school. And then she was like, yo, babe, I think Danielle went to our school.
Mm-hmm.
And she asked me, she was like, did you kind of pay attention to her face? And I was like, well, I mean, I saw her face, but I didn't really think to put I didn't think to put 2 and 2 together to determine, that I went to high school with her, that she was in our class together. I wasn't thinking about that, during the match. But then after really like thinking about it, doing some searching, Danielle Perkins was in our high school class of 01 at Bishop Loughlin. And I wouldn't have recognized her by her name because her name wasn't Perkins. It was something else.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have, recognized it. But yeah, Danielle Perkins, heavyweight, women's boxer.
After 5 fights.
After 5 fights, was in our high school class of
That's
01.
what's up. That's what's up. Hey,
Yeah.
we ain't mad at how you get. We ain't mad at how you get the Clarissa Shields. I just
That's dope though.
Yeah, but shout out to her. Shout out to her.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like,
that's dope.
She'll probably beat the brakes off me. So look, I ain't, I don't
right.
want no sauce. I'm just
smoke.
I just thought that was interesting back then. I'm like, damn, 5 fights and she get Clarissa Shields, huh?
Hey, respect. And and I said it. I mean, I
went her back in. If you would have,
No, I wasn't gonna kick her back in. I was just gonna say in my analysis going into the fight, I thought that Danielle Perkins would be at some point kind of, get the wind out of her because of her age. They said she was 42 years old. So so that's where I thought, she would lose the fight, but it ended up going the distance. So, much respect to her, for staying in that fight. And it makes sense because I said Bushwick, Brooklyn. And, when Debbie said it, I was like, she is from Brooklyn. And did the research and bam, right in the yearbook, bro.
Yeah, hilarious.
Yeah,
hilarious. That's what's up. The tweet that I'm questioning again, and seeing this might start becoming a natural occurrence on the show because I get your notification.
Do we need to create a segment?
Yeah. Well, it depends on how flagrant you get. And sometimes you get flagrant. What did you mean when you said WNBA is greater than the NBA? What were you referring to? The All-Star game?
All-Star game.
Okay.
All-Star festivities.
I just wanted for clarity. I just was being,
okay.
Because
I have to go back to that tweet because I thought I clarified it.
No, well, I think shout out Jody posted something, and then
I retweeted what she tweeted.
I don't remember what she tweeted. All I saw was WNBA greater than NBA, and that
was Jody's tweet. I was just retweeting her tweet.
Got you. Okay. No, I thought you was quoting her tweet and you typed WNBA's.
Okay, yeah, I guess the same thing. Yeah, I did quote it, but it was she posted on the
right. You reposted something she said, and your reply was the WNBA is better than the NBA, but All-Star game. Say less.
Okay.
Say less.
Yeah, All-Star game. But I thought she was.
I don't recall
with what she said, but
I don't recall. So I just saw.
I agree with her.
Well, the WNBA All-Star game is better than the NBA. I don't have an opinion because I haven't watched the WNBA All-Star game. So
yeah, well, you should tune in.
One day. Yeah, okay. When is the All-Star game?
I want to say July-ish of this year.
I'm there watching that shit. You hear me? Watching that shit.
Hey, man. Hey, we waiting for you, bro.
We're watching that shit.
We waiting for you for sure, man. And shout out to the WNBA because they had a really great week, man. So a couple things. Asia Wilson, brought out her new shoe. So shout out to her for that. And then it was just announced that the 16th expansion franchise is going to be in Cleveland, back where they did have an original team when it first came out in 97 called the Cleveland Rockers. So they're going to bring that franchise back into the fold to be the 16th team in the league. And I think that's dope because I think it opens the door now for Houston to get the Comets back, for Charlotte to get their team back, and, maybe a few others. Detroit, I know Detroit was a city that was looking to bid on one of those expansion teams and, get their original team back. So shout out to the WNBA.
Did somebody get from the Vegas team, the Aces, got traded to the Sparks, and Kelsey Plum, thank you. And what was she saying about Asia Wilson?
I don't know what she said about Asia Wilson.
Okay, I must have missed that. I'll look it up. I thought, because something told me, right?
Was it shade? Was it shade or?
I'm not going to say it was shade because I'm not sure.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? And something told me to read it, but I figured that you might have caught it before. You might have caught it and brought it up. So that's why. But if you don't know, just say less.
I didn't even know she had a comment.
I won't pretend. I won't pretend to start to try to say nothing.
I hope it's something positive, but by the looks of how you're saying it,
I won't. I just wanted to know what was said. But it did seem like she was discussing what happened in LA as to why maybe she was traded.
Right. And then one last point on the WNBA. I guess we were supposed to get Sabrina versus Steph again or something similar in this year's All-Star game. I know they reached out to Caitlin Clark about doing it. She declined originally some weeks ago. Sabrina officially had declined before the weekend started. And I think that's a good look for them because I think they're saying, hey, our league is growing. We had a great, couple of seasons. If you guys want to come join us for All-Star Weekend, you're more welcome to do that. And we appreciate the support over the years that you guys have given to the WNBA. But we just gonna, do our own thing because we're giving ourselves the attention. We're seeking the attention for sure. We're putting a good product out there. But we certainly don't want to, and how should I say this? We don't want to, give you guys any of the, and maybe I'm not saying that.
We don't want y'all to feel like we need y'all to come up.
Right. Thanks. That's
I get it. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was trying to get to there.
So
shout out to them. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
It was great last year. I ain't gonna front. I enjoyed watching it. But business decisions got to get made. So I respect that.
For
100%.
sure. I'm good, man.
Yeah. Appreciate CJ Harden 79 in the IG live chat. NR Hour. Appreciate you for coming through this evening. And also everybody in the chats out there watching us on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram, and all that good stuff. Continue to follow us on those platforms, folks. Click that like button on the Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Tell a friend for sure. We're also on Twitch. Follow us on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Also follow us on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. If you got questions, comments about the show, just hit us up on the email, barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. And then if you're listening to us on the audio side, whether it's iHeartRadio, Google Play, Apple, or Spotify, just drop us a review and just, let us know what you think about the show because it definitely goes a long way. And man, I'm good, man.
Yes, sir.
Love and peace and happiness to everybody out there, and enjoy your week. And we're gonna come back with another dope one. As always, folks, mind your damn business.
Drink some water.
Oh yeah, we got him. Trey, Frazier, and Maestro styles. We got one. Right back like we left some. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey shot with the blade, we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called The Barbershop.